So you're ready to hire your sales rep. You got your job ad ready to go, but how do you actually pay them? What is the commission structure supposed to look like? In this video, I'll tell you some things that you should consider on how you structure the commissions for your sales rep. What's up, Pod Squad? Thank you for watching, listening, wherever you're consuming this. Appreciate you so much. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Mighty Line Tape. Go to mightylinetape.com/stripe it. They will send you a free sample kit of their products. So thank you to them. Okay, in the last video, we chatted and talked about what you should do before you even hire your sales rep. Like what should you consider, all that stuff. Now, this is getting its own video because it matters a lot. One of the things you also need to consider is how are you going to structure the commissions of your sales rep? So it is entirely possible, I will say this, it's entirely possible to hire a sales rep and not pay them commission. It's not very common from what I understand, but it is possible. So this could be something you could consider if you're a really small company, you've never hired a sales rep before, maybe you're hiring someone who's brand new at sales. You could set up some sort of employment contract with them where they are just paid a really good wage. And then, you could always renegotiate their job contract down the road to include commissions once they get up to speed. So don't feel like you have to pay your sales rep commissions. That being said, it's pretty common, especially in the asphalt industry. Even if somebody doesn't have a ton of asphalt specific sales experience with striping or seal coating, it's pretty common. You're going to probably end up paying some sort of commission. So how do you do that? So a couple things to think about when it comes to commission. First and foremost, and I would say this is probably the biggest, most important thing that you need to consider, and that is the experience level of the sales rep, in my opinion, should dictate the level or the rate of commission they get. So what I mean by that is if you hire someone who has never sold line striping before or pavement maintenance or asphalt paving, I think you'd be doing that person a really big disfavor if you paid them like a really low base salary and a high commission structure trying to incentivize them to sell because they simply haven't sold it before. Like you're probably going to set that person up to fail if they don't have a lot of industry specific sales experience. Now, conversely, if you do have somebody who has a lot of experience, then I would probably consider paying them, after negotiating with them, like, do you want to be paid a little bit less on your salary so that you have a more aggressive commission? But I would only do that if they had, real world experience selling the thing that we're selling. So make sure you clarify that. Now, generally, you're not going to find a ton of salespeople who have loads of experience selling the very thing that you guys do. So in that case, I would consider paying them a little bit higher of a base salary and a little bit less commission. And again, you can always renegotiate it down the road, but explain that to your prospective sales rep. Like we structure it this way, not because we're trying to be cheap. We just don't want to see you fail in trying to sell something that's brand new to you. So once you get that figured out, another big part of the commission question that people have is, well, how much commission do you pay? Like, what does it actually look like? So there's a few ways that you could do it. But I'm going to start with the first way that I would highly recommend you never pay your sales rep this way. When you're selling business to business sales, so you're selling to commercial property owners, commercial property managers, you're putting a lot of risk of the company if you pay the commission to your sales rep based on the top line revenue. So some companies will do this. So basically what that looks like is you say, okay, we'll pay you, 5% commissions on anything that you sell. So then they go out and they sell a $10,000 job. So by that, they get a $500 commission check, which is great. The risk for the company in doing it that way is there's really no safety net or no check and balance to keep your sales rep in line, so to speak, from basically selling their face off at whatever price they can get just so that they can make a sale. So, because if you're the sales rep and you know that the job should be priced at $10,000, but you also know that you won't get it unless you sell it for $8,000, they probably will just knock $2,000 off so they can collect a $400 commission check. So if you decide to do it that way, just make sure you have some sort of really good check and balance. That's not something I would ever do. What you're probably going to find much more common is paying your sales rep a commission based on gross profit or net profit. So gross profit is just like it sounds. If that $10,000 job cost the company $5,000 to produce, So you've made a 50% gross profit. You could pay a percentage of the commission based on that gross profit. And that's just a way to protect the company a little bit and also make sure that, the sales rep is getting paid commission based on the performance of the job. Net profit would be one step further. So not only are you paying a commission just on the performance of the job, but basically an accountant or a CPA at the end of the month would prepare a very detailed commission report. And they wouldn't just pay a commission based on the actual job performance, but as a performance of the entire company. So all of the expenses that go into your company, your marketing expenses, all those subscriptions that you pay, the rent of your shop, the fleet trucks, all that stuff could get calculated every month, and then commission could be paid against that. So that would be the most safe and secure way to ensure that the company is protected financially. Your sales rep might not like it though. So make sure you have that conversation with your accountant or your CPA. What is the best way to pay the commission in this company's current financial health? All right, last thing, when do you actually pay the commissions out? So one thing that is fairly common in the asphalt industry is commission checks sometimes will not get released to the sales rep until the company has collected the payment on the invoices for those jobs. It's a little bit of an ouch for your sales rep because if a customer simply doesn't pay the company, they won't get their commission check until that company or that client has paid. That is something that you should consider though. It's another layer of security to protect the company. I kind of like that approach personally because not only does it protect the company, but it's also kind of incentivizing your sales rep to have a really rock solid relationship with your customers. Because if the customer isn't paying for some reason, you probably want your sales rep to kind of investigate that a little bit and be like, Bob, why aren't we paying this bill? So that would be the other thing you want to figure out from a commission standpoint. When are we going to pay? Does it matter if the customer has paid us? Obviously, in the worst case scenario, what this would look like is you have all these jobs that your salesman has sold because they're good at their job, but the company hasn't actually collected the payment for them. So you have to pay this big fat commissions check, but the company hasn't actually made money yet. So again, another good conversation with your CPA, your accountant. What should we do? What makes the most sense for our company? So hopefully you find those helpful. Commissions is not as scary as it seems. If you have any questions about that, ask Matt. Just comment on this video down below if you're watching on YouTube. Reach out to us. You guys know where to find us by now. We're happy to answer your questions about sales rep. Sales is one of my favorite things, so I will always make time to answer somebody's question about sales rep and commission. So one more video to go. In the next video, we'll talk about how you onboard your sales rep successfully.